Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm William Craft Jr., aka Zorbot on Less Than Guru, and today I'm going to talk about the Bard. The Bard in Palladium is very, very different than the Bard in D&D. So let's just get that right right out of the gate. D&D Bard is kind of a rogue with magic abilities and cast spells. Palladium First Edition never had a Bard that could cast spells. So that's something that I wanted to keep intact. And one of the questions you might ask yourself is then why would anybody be a bard? How effective can they be? I have a lot of videos where Bob, one of my players, has a bard, a Teufling bard, and has sometimes been the person to take out the big bad because he uses a crossbow, stands in the back, doesn't want to get in combat, but when he does, he shoots. Sometimes he hits, and he is successful. And then he sings about it, whether it's for the whole groups, uh, to get up their legend or himself. It helps. So a bard is a viable class to have, and he has proven it. He made it. I think he rolled and was like, "Yeah, let's be a bard and let's see how long it lasts." And then it was pleasantly surprised that his bard not only lasted but is able to be effective, an effective party member out adventuring. So you don't need your spell. Just be smart. That's what a lot of Palladium is old school, be smart, don't be an idiot. So attribute requirements, same as in the main game. Alignment, you can be a good bard, evil bard, selfish bard, doesn't matter. Physical conditioning is a +4. So in the previous acrobat, we had a +6, but they're doing more physical things, where a bard is doing more vocal type things or playing an instrument type things, not quite as physical, but you are performing, you're on a stage, you might be, I don't know, like a heavy metal band rocking out or something, if that's what you want to do. So you will have some conditioning, and that's why they get a +4, but not to the extent of the more physical occupations. Armor tier of tier 2. So they are ones that bards usually travel. And even though acrobats would do it within a circus or something, where a bard is more likely to be a lone traveler. So they are going to be more likely encounter brigands and need to help themselves and not be protected by mercenaries or carnival thugs, whatever you don't want to call them thugs as in uh, bad people, but thugs as in they take care of business and keep the carnival people safe. So armor tier 2, that's light armors. And then they get quite a few occupational skills: actor and impersonation, rewrite, public speaking, disguise, all of this to entertain, as well as you can do some adventuring stuff on the side. You could be a bard who does some spying. You wouldn't be as good as a spy, but you could fulfill that role if needed. So let's go to the level chart. So level 1 is where you get your skills, like in all Palladium games. Level 2, you get a new skill called Legendary Lore. So we'll talk about that when we get into the abilities. 3 and 4, that's where you get your first round of additional skills. 5, you get an additional hit point. 6, you get Eyeball a Feller, which I believe the Spy had and the Thief had. It's also a really good skill for a Bard to have, or ability, so that's why I gave them it at 6, and all 3 of them I think are at 6. Charismatic Charm at 7. 8 is when you get another round of elective skills. 9 and 10, additional shock point, hit point. 11, 12, that's when you get more skills, an additional shock point at 13, and then a few more skills at 14 and 15. So not quite as many skills as a spy, but the bard gets a lot of skills because they're an independent. If you want to consider them an independent entertainer, sure, there could be bards with a group. Things like the acrobat are going to be more with a traveling group like a carnival or circus or something like that, a bard more likely to be an individual traveler, so they're going to need a lot of skills. Once again, elective skills, secondary skills. Elective skills, these are the skills you can choose. Secondary skills, you can choose any skills. These are the ones that give you bonuses. Let's move on to abilities. Legendary lore. The bard may know pieces of lore that do not fit in any of the normal secondary lore skills. So there's like demon and devil lore. There is like religious doctrine and certain things, but there's always type of weird things that it's like this doesn't quite fit history, doesn't quite fit this. It's really weird, and you don't have a category. That's when the bard character could go, "Hey, I heard a story," and that way the bard can shine in those moments of having that knowledge that other ones are so specialized. The bard is general, so they fill in the cracks and the gaps that the other ones more compartment type skills. So if it is probable that something outside of those categories would have been written or verbally passed down, the bard can try to recall if it is from any of the many sources of information to which she might be privy. You have a 28 plus 4% additional level starting at level 3. And this has come up in my game and used successfully. So whenever Bob, the player of my bard, is like, "Hey, would this fit in legendary lore?" I think about it, and if it's something that would, sure, roll. This is what your guy does. He doesn't get magic spells like D&D. This is the cool thing he gets here. They get the eyeball of Feller, which I explained a couple times before, but basically it is being able to look at somebody and determine, are they rich, are they poor, are they a noble, are they drunk, are they this? Just kind of get what their current state of mind is. It's not mystical, it's not telepathic, it can't be seen. It's just getting really good at reading the character. So that's kind of what eyeball of Feller is, and it's otherwise the same. Then let's look at charismatic charm at 7th level. Bard can impress people with their wits and banter. After a short conversation, the bard sees if a person views them favorably. This doesn't change viewpoints, but can lead to special favors and perhaps a momentary slip of the tongue in divulging information. So you start a little conversation and you have an objective, something you want them to tell you, and you find a roundabout way to get them to like accidentally tell you like, oops, I shouldn't have said that. Or you get them to trust you enough that, hey, between us, here's the thing on the down low. So it's 50% plus 3% per additional level, starting at 8. High MA trust percent adds to the base percent of charismatic charm. So again, those trust, intimidate, charm, and impress that originally was mental affinity and physical beauty. I got rid of physical beauty and I allow somebody with those bonuses to pick 2 of those 4. They're never really defined. They're never really defined when you use them, how you use them, and stuff. So if there's something there that I like in Palladium, a kernel of something that I can see being used and see adding to the game, I add little flavors like this into it, and that's where it ends up. If you have that bonus to charm, then you can add it to this, and at 7th level, you can get into any conversation, get somebody to give up the goods on what they have hidden in their mind, and they don't want somebody to know, and you can just smoosh them and get them to divulge those secrets. So that is really cool with Bard. Having said that, um, really have liked how the Bard has turned out in my Palladium games with one of Bob's characters, because we have multiple characters. Having said that, once again, I'm Liam Craft Jr., aka Zorwatch on Less Than Guru, and until next time, I will catch you later.